match on a dating app turns out to be less Prince Charming, more frog in disguise, you're not alone. The initial thrill of swiping right and getting a match can be intoxicating. The promises of these apps are tantalizing, aren't they? Find your soulmate with just a few clicks. But as many of us have discovered, reality can be a tough cookie to swallow. So let's dive right in and see if we can make sense of this digital dating roller coaster. Once upon a time, in a world not so far away, dating apps promised a magical world of endless possible matches. They swept into our lives like a breath of fresh air, promising to banish the age-old dilemmas of dating. No more awkward blind dates, no more guessing games, and no more settling for less. The world of digital love was a sparkling oasis of possibilities. Imagine, if you will, the initial thrill. It was like walking into a candy store. A vast panorama of choices, each one more enticing than the last. The allure was intoxicating. Faces of potential partners from all walks of life, each with their unique story, just a swipe away. One could almost hear the echo of 1,000 hearts beating in unison, a symphony of anticipation and hope. And so we dove headfirst into this brave new world. Armed with nothing more than a few flattering photos and a catchy bio, we ventured forth, guided by the promise of finding the one. The excitement was palpable. Each swipe right felt like a step closer to that perfect match, each new connection a potential love story waiting to unfold. We saw ourselves as modern-day explorers, navigating the uncharted waters of digital love. The potential for discovery was boundless. Every day brought with it a fresh wave of profiles, a new chance at finding love. The promise was simple. Your perfect match could be just one swipe away. Yet, amidst the glitter and glamour of this digital frontier, there was a subtle undercurrent of unease. A nagging feeling that perhaps this wasn't the romantic utopia it was made out to be. A creeping suspicion that beneath the veneer of endless possibilities, there lay a stark reality far removed from the promise of eternal romance. But as the old saying goes, not everything that glitters is gold, so what happened next? The honeymoon phase with dating apps didn't last long, did it? Soon enough, the sheen started to fade. So, what happened? Well, just as the saying goes, all that glitters isn't gold. For many, the sparkle of dating apps began to tarnish as users found themselves caught in a seemingly endless cycle of swiping left or right. As the novelty wore off, the reality of what these apps really offered began to set in. You see, dating apps introduced us to a world of unlimited potential matches, but with this came an unexpected downside: the paradox of choice. Too many options led to indecision, dissatisfaction, and ironically, loneliness. Users found themselves endlessly swiping, caught in a loop, hoping the next profile would be the one. Yet, the one seemed to be always just out of reach. And then there's the superficiality of it all. A world where your worth is judged by a handful of carefully curated photos and a witty bio of no more than 200 characters. It's a world where genuine connections seem to be as rare as a unicorn. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is the size of Mount Everest, and the needle is, well, microscopic. The online dating world also brought along a new set of anxieties. The fear of being ghosted, the pressure of making the perfect first impression, the dread of being left on read. It's like a roller coaster ride that doesn't seem to end. And not in a fun, thrilling way, but more of a stomach-churning, I want to get off now kind of way. Moreover, the very nature of dating apps, designed to keep you hooked, began to feel draining. It's like being stuck in a game that you're not quite sure how to win. A game where the rules keep changing and the finish line keeps moving. Turns out finding true love isn't as easy as swiping right, huh? It seems that the promise of digital love, like many things in the modern world, comes with its own set of challenges. A far cry from the fairy tale ending we were all hoping for. Around the 5-minute mark in our digital dating journey, we're starting to feel a bit jaded, aren't we? The glitz and glamour of endless possibilities that once sparkled now seem to have lost their luster. But what's causing this disillusionment? Let's dive in, shall we? Firstly, we're dealing with the superficial nature of dating apps. The swiping left or right based on a few photos and a witty bio, all in a matter of seconds. It's a bit like judging a book by its cover, isn't it? But we're talking about people here, not books. And people, my dear friends, are complex creatures. They can't be summed up in a few photos or a clever one-liner. Then there's the lack of genuine connection. It's ironic, isn't it? These platforms that were designed to connect us are often leaving us feeling more isolated than ever. You see, genuine connection takes time. It takes shared experiences, deep conversations, and a lot of understanding. And let's be honest, that's not something you can get from a few text exchanges before you're ghosted. Ghosting. Our newest addition to the dating lexicon. 1 minute you're chatting away, thinking you've hit it off with someone. The next they've vanished into thin air, leaving you questioning your texting skills and wondering if they were ever real to begin with. It's a bit like being part of a magic trick, but you're always on the receiving end of the disappearing act. So we're swiping left on genuine connections and right on superficiality. We're trading meaningful conversations for ghostly vanishing acts. It's no wonder we're feeling a bit disillusioned. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, there's more. Before we delve further into the murky waters of dating apps, a quick reminder. If you're enjoying this content, do give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It's your way of telling us that you appreciate the work we put into these videos. If you'd like to support us further, we do accept donations. The link is in the description below. Every bit helps us to continue creating informative content for you. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. As if dealing with the superficiality and ghosting wasn't enough, there's another monster lurking in the dating app world. Let's talk about the infamous catfish, the final nail in the coffin of our trust in the digital love sphere. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the term, catfishing is when someone creates a fake online profile to deceive others, usually for romantic or financial gain. You think you're chatting with a dashing young gentleman, only to find out it's a bored teenager in his basement, or worse, a scam artist halfway across the world. And unfortunately, catfishing is far from a rare occurrence. In fact, it's become so common that it's practically a staple of the online dating landscape, as much a part of it as the swiping and the awkward opening lines. It's a sad fact that many of us have come to accept as just another hurdle in the quest for love. It's not just the deceit that stings, though. It's the time and emotional investment that goes into these interactions. You spend weeks, maybe even months, sharing your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams, only to find out you are pouring your heart out to a figment of someone's twisted imagination. And the more it happens, the more it chips away at your trust, not just in dating apps, but in people in general. But what's perhaps most disheartening about catfishing is how it further fuels the disillusionment with dating apps. It takes the problems we've already discussed, the superficiality, the ghosting, and amplifies them tenfold. It's the ultimate betrayal, the final straw that makes us question whether these apps are worth the hassle at all. Of course, there are measures in place to combat catfishing, like verification processes and reporting features. But the truth is, these tools are far from foolproof. And as long as there are people willing to deceive, there will always be catfish in our digital sea. So, where does this leave us in our digital dating journey? Well, that's a question we'll dive into in our next scene. Stay tuned. After this roller coaster ride, you might be wondering, is there any hope left in the world of digital dating? Well, let's not lose all hope just yet. The future of dating apps isn't necessarily bleak. It's just that the landscape needs a bit of reshaping. Perhaps we need to see a shift from quantity to quality. Instead of a buffet of faces, wouldn't it be better to have a carefully curated menu of potential matches? We could also benefit from more transparency and authenticity. Let's say farewell to the deceiving filters and hello to real people with real stories. Additionally, dating apps could do more to promote safe and respectful interactions, making the digital dating experience more enjoyable for everyone. In the end, dating apps should be about creating genuine connections, not just mindless swiping. So, next time you're swiping left or right, remember, not all that glitters is gold. And as always, keep it real. Well, that's our journey through the world of dating apps. We've uncovered the glittering allure, the downfall, and the disillusionment that follows. We've seen the final nail in the coffin and pondered on where we go from here. If you've enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to Modern World Dynamics. Your support enables us to keep digging deeper into intriguing topics. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the world of dating apps on Modern World Dynamics. Stay tuned for more such intriguing discussions. Until